Hargreaves, chance for Torquay! Chris Hargreaves, the captain! If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells!
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Gull'S Live View, brought to you by Galaxy TQ. I'm joined by Chris.
Evening, nice to be back, lads. You all right?
Yeah, not bad. Joined by Tom.
Good evening, guys. Nice to see you again.
In the second part, which I've already recorded, so basically going back in time, we'll be joined by Nick from the Tusk. Really good interview, and he was a really good guest. So look forward to that in the second part. But in the first part, we're going to talk about St Albans and various things, and an award. We've been into the awards. Just the links will all be in the description. If you follow us on social media, you'll see it. So please vote for us. Anything you want to add to that, Tom, at all?
Yeah, so we're going for the Football Content Awards this year. We're making a really big push for it. Talky Talk, Best in Non-League is what we're looking for this year. So we've posted it all on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll have it on here as well. We really love providing so much content for the Yellow Army and our love of Torquay United. We've got such a fantastic team. Of course, it's not just us guys.
We're a section of Talky Talk.
We're just a little section of Talky Talk. There's others, of course, as well, who will do
We're
a fantastic
the best looking
job.
that they go on the internet.
Mm-hmm. So if you can, please, if you haven't already, please vote for us. Links in the description below. Best in Non-League. There's 3 categories there as well. Please do vote for us.
I just realised that a bunch of amateurs are going to be there, the ones who are Dorking lot. So we're aiming for second. They'll probably get most votes. But yeah, we came, I think, third a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We got in something, I'm pretty sure. So it'd be great. I'm sending it to my family WhatsApp. So hopefully get us into the top 3, but it'd be good. Anyway.
Brilliant.
Other good non-league podcasts are available.
Yes, there are plenty of good ones. There's other good Talking Night ones as well. But there we go. Anyway, so that's a bit you could have skipped. Into the game, St Albans away. You two were there. You saw more of it than Dom, or remember more of it than Dom. I wasn't there. It's like an absolute classic on the radio. I was at the edge of my seat. Talk me through it, Chris. Go on.
Yeah, it wasn't an absolute classic. It was 3 points. It was one of those days where you got the points and you got out of there. Well, I made sure that you got my right prediction in last week, so it's only fair. It wasn't an entertaining game with the way the squad is at the moment, the way the injuries are. It was a get in there, get some points, and get out again job. We first half we were much the better side territorially in that we had a lot of the ball. St Albans played a very modern pass out from the back. But they passed it out very slowly. I wasn't at the Worthing game, but I was with my dad, who said that Worthing did that, but
Chippenham did it as well.
Yeah,
all the teams in the South. It's a really refreshing to see, actually.
It is, but they did it so
Also
slowly.
boring.
It was kind of pass sideways, sideways back. And what we did very well was just kept our shape. And Gary mentioned it afterwards. It was very clear that they'd worked on the shape. You know, we had Collins and Ash, the 2 front men. You had Jenkins Davis in behind, and they just pushed forward. They kept the shape, so there were no holes. The only time they broke us was once at the start of the second half. The first half, we pressed very well. Stobbs had a chance when he crossed, when he should have shot probably. De Silva had an opportunity with a header at the far post. But other than that, they didn't really look like hurting us. And we scored, scrappy goal. Good corner, only kind of half cleared, and Tomlinson jabbed it in. But then second half, Tommy, I don't know what you thought, but second half, they were a bit more positive. They had one chance. They had a golden chance where Jeffers blazed it over the bar from about 6 yards out. But obviously they pushed, and it's the first game I've been to this year, having been away recently, and this new injury time rule and all of this, and Ash getting booked for backleading the ball 2 yards to one of their players, and Halstead getting booked for picking the ball up, walking across the other side of the 6-yard box, which is a stupid rule, but you're allowed to do it. When he got halfway there, he'd been booked. All of that stuff, I found all a bit much, all the injury time, and I was very much not in favour of it when you're winning. I was much in favour of midweek when we were losing.
Rule,
I think it needs, I think it needs some refining still, and it'll evolve as the season does. But I thought we were worth the 3 points, but it was a attritional afternoon, let's say.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I missed the first 20 minutes because I was a bit late getting out from work and fighting through the M25 traffic. But I think overall for me, when you look at who we had out, no Jarvis, no Asa, no Moxie, you look at who came on from the bench, Hanson, McGavin, and Marshall. Not Marshall, sorry. Who was the last one? Crow, that's it. If you're going to go to a team who were runners-up in the playoff final last season away from home, and get a 1-0 win there. That's a very good result. And at the end of the
It's a very
day,
decent
that's
result.
all you want, really, isn't it? You want it.
Yeah.
They're expected to be up there for the playoffs, you would imagine. So for me, it was a very hard-earned 3 points. But apart from that Jefferson miss where he's got a score, I can't believe he's missed it.
No,
From 6 yards out. That's awful.
Tried to break the net, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think
that's
as well,
a very good win.
Yeah, I think as well that from our perspective, those 3 subs you mentioned, not the most popular 3 players in the history of Torquay United probably, but I thought they all did okay. McGavin came on and won a couple of tackles in midfield, really kind of important foot in, just to kind of break things up and get a toe in and move the ball out sideways a bit more. Crow came on the left wing and then ended up at right back and scampered up and down and won a couple of balls. And even Hansen came on the left wing, but kind of chased up and down, held the ball in the corner a couple of times. Just little things that you need your subs to come on, and they're not going to massively change the game, are they? We know that we had a goalkeeper and an 18-year-old with the 2 unused subs, but it was a hot day, so it was a day where you needed to use your 3 subs really, just to kind of get some fresh legs and impetus onto it. And they all did probably what they were asked to do, which I think is probably all you can ask for players that will be naturally low on confidence, I would suspect, in a minute.
It felt like at no point to me that we were going to concede, and that's really
I
weird.
felt that listening on the radio, actually.
It wasn't panicky, was it?
I wasn't panicking.
It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was like, there were moments where it was like, oh, they're in, or they could get in here. But to be honest, they were very poor up front. And like you said, Chris, they were very slow trying to play from the back. And it just allowed us to get into position and be able to defend it. And really surprised me from St. Albans. I expected a hell of a lot better from them. So,
like I said, there really was that.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, I was going to say.
No, I was going to say there really was just those 2 opportunities. There was the miss. There was the one in the first coming to the second half when they broke through the shape when Halstead rushed out, kind of smothered the shot, and there was the one in the first half when Marshall made that thundering tackle.
What a tackle!
It was
the classic win or bust, wasn't it? It was either win the ball, we all cheer, or miss it and get a penalty given against you and a red card. So it was a classic win or bust. But yeah, it was a fantastic tackle again. He was solid until he took a whack on the ankle again, wasn't he? I thought.
Yeah,
and we were back.
In with eyesight is unbelievable. I'm so happy he's starting to find his potential. Yeah. Who'd have thought eyes help?
Yeah. And we were backed by a very vocal Yellow Army. I think, 300, Chris?
It's hard to tell without segregation. But I mean, what was the crowd?
1,500. Yeah, around that. 1,500, 1,600.
I'd probably say more 400 or 500 to be honest, because certainly around the town before the game and the pub I was in, there was plenty of. There was mainly Torquay fans. Certainly the beer garden we were in, there was a lot of fans. So it was my first game of the season. Great to see some faces I've not seen for a few months and catch up with some friends and supporters. It was really good, and it was. Again, I said to my dad at one point, it just goes to show how disappointing that it is where we are, because if you look at where that away support with the size of our club, and that those supporters go everywhere, their faces you see everywhere. And it is just, again, it just underlined again how disappointing it is. It is what it is. We are where we are, but just again made you realise how disappointing it is to be so low down. But hopefully it will be only for 1 year.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think after the disaster of the first 2 games, especially obviously the Worthing, it was very important.
I missed the Worthing game.
So did I. It's very much.
All right, you two, calm down.
It was very much.
It was warmer where I was.
Yes, well, I was in the same country, but it still got warm. I was actually.
You lot don't live 15 minutes away. Blimey.
I was actually just bloody shopping for my holiday, just getting more and more miserable. Everyone's like in holiday mood, and I'm just like. Anyway,
yeah,
I can never drive through Worthing ever again.
We needed to just build from the beginning. It was never going to be, we've won 3-0, we're going to win the next games 5-0, 5-0. It was going to be right. We've got to really get, build. I'm a big believer in football and building from the back upwards. So building your keeper and your defence, moulding that defensive shape. It'd be a bit boring. And then bringing the creative players into it as you build that confidence. That's 2 wins we've kind of just about scraped out now. We need to play a lot better as the season goes on. But right now, that's 6 very important points. I said after one game, we need to win the next 3. We won the next 2. And we need to win basically loads of games, of course. But just to win. This is a big bank holiday now. And those 2 wins are crucial. But if you can't follow it up over these ones, you're in trouble.
It's very interesting in it, Sam, actually. If you look at the scores in the league, it just goes to show, and I've got a mate who's a Bath City fan, So, I've been in contact with him more than usual back in the same league. But he said before the start of the season, he said some teams in this league will surprise you, and you'll see some odd results. And you've seen it in this last week. You look at Weston, who went to Bath, and he was there, and he said Bath just got destroyed by Weston's pace and power. And then on the Saturday, they are at home to Slough, lost 3 out of 3. Well, that's a home banker. Yeah, they had a man sent off in the first half, but they get beaten 3-0 at home by Slough. There's some very odd results. You look at Yeovil. You look at Yeovil and Torquay. Everyone thought, they'll walk the league. Well, they've both got 7 points from 4 games. They've both been beaten. They've not tanked anyone, either team. And there are some. So, I think this weekend is important because you go to Slough as a game where you've really got to go there and win that game. You've got to kick on. And then you've got your home games.
I did call at the start of the season that I just saw a scenario like this where we didn't start that well. And as long as after 10 games we were playoffs just above playoffs, quite near the kind of top 3 points off or so. And then we got stronger as loan players came in and confidence came in. We got over this we're the big teams in the league, and we actually respected them. Fine, other teams played, but lose the next game and it's all changed. I'm not, making excuses, but I did just kind of see the scenario coming. But we've just got to respect and get used to it because teams play much better football.
I do think as well the situation with our squad will be the same across the non-leagues, but the situation with our squad, I was having a chat with somebody, fellow Talky Talk contributor before the game, and I said I suspect this squad will stay the same this month now. And Gary then, it sounded like I had inside information, but Gary then said the same after the game because an awful lot of, whilst the EFL window is open, that will be everyone's best option.
Yeah.
As soon as that's not an option, you haven't gone anywhere. It's then when you then look at National League South, and Gary said after the game, we're looking at the players we won that we've got our eye on, we're hoping don't go elsewhere, we can then make our move. So I think these next, 3 games probably, the Slough game and the Braintree game on Bank Holiday Monday, followed by the Averley game. I think they'll give you a maximum point as you can out of those 3 games. And then after that, I think we'll then hopefully start to see some additions. Mox, Jarvis should be back at the weekend. Obviously, we need the transfer window to shut for Jarvis because who knows if that's, if him staying with us is a done thing, is a done deal.
To the window shut the non-league anyway, so...
No, but but for players buying him, it can. Now football league clubs, buying him, it can. You would hope you wouldn't think he'd go to a national league club during the season necessarily, and then we can then hopefully add a couple and kick on.
Chris, what do you think of the 4-4-2 change?
I think it's class.
Well, it's interesting. It's very old-fashioned, isn't it? Really, in modern football, you really don't see it very, very often. But I think from a tactical perspective, I wasn't at the Dover game or the Worthing game, but I've watched the highlights. I've watched the goals back a few times. I've spoken to a lot of people that were at the game. So I think tactically, there's no doubt that didn't help. I think, as we've discussed on the, regularly, kind of amongst ourselves recently, the 3 at the back relies on the 2 players on the outside. Your 2 wing backs have to have that view of, crikey, I've got to get back. And then when they can't, your 3 centre backs have to split and cover that space. Yeah. And both the goals against Dover and 2 against Worthing have gone over season. In that hole in behind, which of course when you have a flat 4, you just don't get. And Donald may not be everyone's cup of tea, but he knows how to hold the line. Sure, he get done over his shoulder, and positioning he's not always the quickest. But actually, I thought Martin was good again. Won a lot of tackles, got his toe in, was solid. Marshall Tomlinson was good. So I think the 4-4-2. What we don't have for a really good 4-4-2 is a lot of pace.
Yeah,
Silver does have pace. But he went around the outside, then put a couple of not so good crosses in. Stobbs, I thought again was solid. Probably should have scored in the second half, but I personally like it more because I think it gives you more of a solid base.
4-4-2 isn't a definitive formation for me, but 4 at the back is 4-3-3, 4-4-2. We went up with 4-4-2 last season with a lot more pace and probably a better squad last time. In that sense, if you think we had Kalala on the wing, Gianni and Reid up front, it wasn't huge, but it's just pacey. And it just,
and I think as well, I don't know what you thought, Tommy, but with the way St Albans played, it was more a diamond in midfield at times. Certainly when they had goal kicks, they had the ball at the back.
I want to bring up Bradley Ash because I thought he did. I know he's not scored yet, but I thought he did really well for our goal at St Albans. Yes, a scrappy goal, but he gets himself in there and he causes the defence a lot of trouble in order for Tomlinson to score. And who would have had that? Tomlinson to score his first goal of the season at St Albans. It was hard. Well, it was weird, wasn't it, Chris? It was like, what's just happened? I've seen the ball go in the net, but no idea who scored it.
I thought it was an own goal as it happened. There was no huge. It was a bit of an own goal reaction, wasn't it? Kind of like everyone's like, oh yeah, it's gone in, as opposed to I've scored.
No, it was a scrappy goal, but it was a goal we crucially needed. Anything else? I think How do we feel going into the bank holiday then?
Plastic pitch, isn't it, at Slough?
Ooh.
Well, I think it's one we should look to win.
2 games in 3 days. That's an interesting one, isn't it?
It's not ideal when you've got a lot of injuries.
No.
But yeah,
But
I mean, who
as a
knows? I mean,
full-time
hopefully Jarvis
team,
will be
it could
back.
have us more, but yeah.
Yeah, hopefully Jarvis will be back. And yeah, I mean, their games you've got to. I think we're very much in grind it out mode at the moment, so you need to go away from it. I mean, to be honest, I think the home form is key, which is where that first game was such a kicker, because I think any successful side is formed on your home form, isn't it? If you win your home games and you pick up a good amount of points away from home, then you're always with a shout, aren't you? So I think the home games are key. The home record has to be strong, but equally, what have we got? 4 points out of 6 away. So you can also keep that strong as well. But yeah, I mean, what would you take? 4
2 points off top
in some respects, but equally, you kind of in a mentality where you want to play, you want to win every game, aren't you, at the moment?
Yeah, should we go into predictions? Because I literally feel like I'm going to predict us to win every game this season. But I was going to go 1-0 again for Slough. But I think just at the moment, because I don't want to get anyone being like, oh, yeah, on Twitter. I'll let the boys know, I didn't read it. But 0-0, I'm going to go at Slough. I just feel like the plastic pitch. No, it's going to be 1-0 Torquay now, but I'll take it if it means us winning.
Okay. I think we'll win. They've conceded goals already this season, so I think we'll win 3-1.
Cool.
Oh, I predicted us to lose for St Albans. We've won, so I don't know whether I should predict us to lose again.
Yeah, no, I feel like 1-0 again. Gut says 1-0.
It'll be another tight game. I think we'll win it 2-1. We'll win it Slough 2-1, and I think we'll beat Braintree 3-1 at home.
Can I change mine? Can I say 1-0 Torquay? Because that was my gut. And
no, you said that first. Yeah, I think we'll beat Braintree at home 2-0.
I think it'll be a 2-1 Torquay win over to Braintree. So I'm going 1-0 Torquay, 2-1 Torquay.
Okay, it's good. It's good.
Top by the end of the bank holiday.
I mean, I would be quite a ton. I know if we just like joint top or something, but
that's the crazy thing. We're all saying we've had a poor start. We're only 2 points off top.
Yeah, I know. And we've got minus one goal difference, which is mental.
Granted, there are 6 or 7 others there in the same boat, but
it's people. There's a lack of consistency in this league at the moment, which is good. So as I said, we just seem to be there or thereabouts. But I think that'll cover us for the first episode. Also, as I said, we've already recorded the second one. That's a really good one. We don't talk in it much actually, so it's even better. But Nick's a fantastic guest, and we will see you. When will we see you? After the bank holiday, probably on like the Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So thanks for joining me, you two. It should be the 4 of us again next week.
Pleasure.
And we'll see you there. Goodbye.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Banyan. Sells.